I really don't understand why social media, Facebook and YouTube, won't allow me to say the whistleblower's name. If I say it, they'll delete the content. You can see here it's on the screen, censored. Can't say the name. Basically, people refer to this guy as Voldemort, he who must not be named, because I literally have to censor his name. Even the president's tweeted a story with his name in it. Most people believe now that he is the whistleblower. He was even named. They didn't redact his name in the actual transcripts. Even if I posted on Facebook about a chiropractor from Dubuque, Iowa, whose name is, Facebook deleted the post. I made another post. I said, this is just a random man who happens to be a chiropractor whose name is, Facebook deleted the post. You can't say the name, period. This is beyond Voldemort. Now, this is a shocking, shocking story from RealClear Investigations. If what they're saying is true, and I have no reason to believe that they're wrong, but we'll see what happens. Sometimes stories are retracted. They are actually saying, sources on the record have provided them what appears to be evidence that the impeachment, the whistleblowing, everything was literally a conspiracy. So I must say, take it all with a grain of salt. This story is huge. RealClear Investigations is certified as credible by NewsGuard. And what they're basically saying here is that this Voldemort guy, the whistleblower, and this other guy, Sean Misko, had been talking about removing the president just after Trump was, I believe, just after Trump was elected and took office. And this guy, Sean Misko, went to go join Adam Schiff's team and provided guidance for the whistleblower on how to move forward with the complaint. So these two people, according to the investigation, were discussing removing the president. One of them joins Adam Schiff. And then, sure enough, the other guy has a whistleblower complaint, and now I'm not allowed to say his name. Something weird is going on. I'll tell you this. I'm not a conspiracy guy. Absolutely not. I'm very skeptical of this story. And let's be clear about that. I've been wronged in the past where Fox Business, put out a story, retracted it later. Take it out with a grain of salt. I will say, though, isn't it strange that I can't say Voldemort's real name? That I can't actually say this guy's name? That is unprecedented. That Facebook would delete multiple posts from me about a random chiropractor with 5 kids who or no, he's a dentist. I'm sorry. He's a dentist. Just a guy. He's a dentist. Yep. Nope. Deleted both my posts. And what's crazy, Facebook deleted them without notice. No punishment, no penalty. No, this page is there was nothing saying we have removed this post, just erased from the site. That's weird. And so is this. Let's read the story and see what's actually going on. RealClear Investigation says barely 2 weeks after Donald Trump took office, Voldemort, the CIA analyst whose name was recently linked in a tweet by the president and mentioned by lawmakers as the anonymous whistleblower who touched off the Trump's impeachment. I just want to let you know, I'm substituting the censored name with Voldemort because I don't know what I'm going to say. He who must not be. I don't know how to. I'm not gonna play a ridiculous game with weird pronouns. But seriously, if I say his name, YouTube will delete this video. I am not exaggerating. They say he was overheard in the White House discussing with another staffer how to remove the newly elected president from office, according to former colleagues. Sources told RealClear Investigations that staffer with whom Voldemort was speaking was Sean Misko. Both were Obama administration holdovers working in the Trump White House on foreign policy and national security issues, and both expressed anger over Trump's new America First foreign policy, a sea change from Obama's approach to international affairs. Quote, just days after he was sworn in, they were already talking about trying to get rid of him, said a White House colleague who overheard their conversation. They weren't just bent on subverting his agenda. They were plotting to actually have him removed from office. Misko left the White House last summer to join House Impeachment Manager Adam Schiff's committee, where sources say he offered guidance to the whistleblower, who has been officially identified only as an intelligence officer in a complaint against Trump filed under whistleblower laws. Misko then helped run the impeachment inquiry based on that complaint as a top investigator for congressional Democrats. The probe culminated in Trump's impeachment last month on a party line vote in the House of Representatives. Yeah, for the most part, but Democrats defected. 3. I believe it was 3. Oh, actually, no, I think it was 4 because one split. Schiff and other Democrats last week delivered the articles of impeachment to the Senate and are now pressing the case for his removal during the trial, which began Tuesday. The coordination between the official believed to be the whistleblower and a key Democratic staffer, details of which are disclosed here for the first time, undercuts the narrative that impeachment developed spontaneously out of the patriotism of an apolitical civil servant. A lot of there was a recent quote. I can't remember who said it. Some Democrat was saying that, oh, everyone, the Republicans are saying they've been trying to impeach President Trump for years. It's a conspiracy theory. And Fox did this really funny segment where they ran over and over again. You've got Schiff, you've got Nadler saying, and many others before, like years ago, we need to impeach this president. This is impeachable. This is impeachable. All the way through Russiagate. Russiagate fails. Now here saying the exact same things. You had that quote from Pelosi, which I could be wrong, but my understanding is that she said something like, we've been working on this for 2.5 years. Yes, they have been planning to impeach Trump. There is a tweet from the whistleblower's lawyer from almost 3 years ago now saying, the coup has begun. We're going to impeach the president. So this is not legitimate. They just don't like Trump. They say the two former co-workers said they overheard Voldemort and Misko, close friends and Democrats held over from the Obama administration, discussing how to, quote, take out or remove the new president from office within days of Trump's inauguration. These co-workers said the president's controversial UK phone call in July 2019 provided the pretext they and their Democratic allies had been looking for. They didn't like his policies. Another former White House official said they had a political vendetta against him from day one. Their efforts were part of a larger pattern of coordination to build a case for impeachment involving Democratic leaders as well as anti-Trump figures both inside and outside of government. All unnamed sources for this article spoke only on the condition that they not be further identified or described. Although strong evidence points to Voldemort as the government employee who lodged the whistleblower complaint, he has not been officially identified as such. As a result, this article makes a distinction between public information released about the unnamed whistleblower, CIA analyst, and specific information about Voldemort. Democrats, based on their impeachment case on the whistleblower complaint, which alleges that President Trump sought to help his re-election campaign by demanding that Ukraine's leader investigate former Vice President Joe Biden and his son in exchange for aid. Yet Schiff, who heads the House Intelligence Committee, and other Democrats have insisted on keeping the identity of the whistleblower secret, citing concern for his safety, while arguing that his testimony no longer matters because other witnesses and documents have, quote, corroborated what he alleged in his complaint about the Ukraine call. They didn't. His whistleblower complaint was wildly inaccurate. Republicans have fought unsuccessfully to call him as a witness, arguing that his motivations and associations are relevant and that the president has the same due process rights to confront his accuser as any other American. The whistleblower's candor is also being called into question. It turns out that the CIA operative failed to report his contacts with Schiff's office to the Intelligence Committee's Inspector General, who fielded his whistleblower complaint. So let me stop first. We have to make the assumption, because they have not publicly and officially confirmed that Voldemort is the whistleblower. I can't say his name. I'm really sorry. I can't do it. I literally can't say the guy's name. I did when this story broke, where they actually named the guy, I did a video on it. 2 days later, YouTube forced the video into private mode. I cannot reverse that. The video is effectively wiped off YouTube. On Facebook, they deleted my posts about it. I tweeted an article. I can't remember who it was from. I think the New York Times, or no, it's Politico, arguing the New York Times was right to out the whistleblower. Deleted. So I'm sorry. Voldemort, that's his name. That's all I can say. They say the whistleblower's candor is also being called into question. He didn't report it to the Inspector General, Michael Atkinson, and in writing, according to impeachment committee investigators. The whistleblower form he filled out required him to disclose whether he had contacted other entities, including members of Congress, but he left that section blank on the disclosure form he signed. The investigators say that details about how the whistleblower consulted with Schiff's staff and perhaps misled Atkinson about those interactions are contained in the transcript of a closed-door briefing Atkinson gave to the House Intelligence Committee last October. However, Schiff has sealed the transcript from public view. It is the only impeachment witness transcript out of 18 that he has not released. You know what, man? Regardless of whether or not Voldemort is the whistleblower, we have someone on Schiff's staff, Sean Misko, now they're claiming, was talking about how to get the president out of office years ago. So ignore the whistleblower part. This guy was looking for an in, and this was it. He found it. And now we have a transcript that Schiff said he was going to release all the transcripts. He never did. Isn't that weird? Maybe this would debunk things. And now the Democrats are screeching Republicans won't allow witnesses. I'll tell you this, man. Why the Republicans won't vote to bring in Voldemort and Schiff and whoever else to force them to testify under oath is beyond me. If this stuff is true, I'll tell you this too. This is why I take this stuff with a grain of salt. If this story was true, wouldn't Republicans be like, all we have to do is get this one person to testify in the Senate trial and we're done. We win. So I don't know what their plan is, why they're doing what they're doing. So, don't ask me. I have no idea. That's why I take this stuff with a grain of salt. Because stories like this are always just too big to be true. You know what I mean? Like, hey, look, far be it from me to criticize RealClear Investigations reporting. But I'll tell you this. When I cited Fox Business on the Seth Rich story, they later retracted it. And then activists take those clips out of context to try and weaponize against me. So I'll say for now, this is being reported by RealClear Investigations and subject to change. This is what we have to go on. They say, Schiff has classified the document secret, preventing Republicans who attended the Atkinson briefing from quoting from it. Even impeachment investigators cannot view it outside a highly secured room known as a Schiff in the basement of the Capitol. Members must first get permission from Schiff, and they are forbidden from bringing phones into the Schiff or from taking notes from the document. If there was anything in that transcript and the Republicans knew about it, wouldn't they then say, we need to get this guy to testify? Maybe. I have no idea. While the identity of the whistleblower remains unconfirmed, at least officially, Trump recently tweeted out a message naming Voldemort, while Republican Senator Rand Paul and Rep. Louis Gohmert of the House Judiciary Committee have publicly demanded that Voldemort testify about his role in the whistleblower complaint. During last year's closed-door depositions in the House, during last year's closed-door House depositions of impeachment witnesses, Voldemort's name was invoked in heated discussions about the whistleblower, as RealClear Investigations first reported on October 30th, and has appeared in at least one testimony transcript. Congressional Republicans complain Schiff and his staff counsel have redacted his name from other documents. So listen, I think it's fair to say the dude is clearly the whistleblower. Why can't I say his name? I don't know. No idea. Lawyers representing the whistleblower have neither confirmed nor denied that Voldemort is their client. In November, after Donald Trump Jr. named Voldemort and cited RCI's story in a series of tweets, however, they sent a cease and desist letter to the White House demanding Trump and his surrogates stop attacking him. And just as whistleblower complaint was made public in September, Voldemort's social media postings and profiles were scrubbed from the internet. And my videos and posts about Voldemort got removed. And an Obama holdover and registered Democrat, Voldemort in early 2017 expressed hostility toward the newly elected president during White House meetings. His co-workers said in interviews that with RealClear Investigations, they added that Voldemort sought to have Trump removed from office long before the filing of the whistleblower complaint. At the time, the CIA operative worked on loan to the White House as a top Ukrainian analyst in the National Security Council, where he had previously served as an advisor on Ukraine to Vice President Biden. The whistleblower complaint cites Biden, alleging that Trump demanded Ukraine's newly elected leader investigate him and his son to help the president's 2020 re-election bid. Two NSC coworkers told RCI that they overheard Voldemort and Misko, who was also working at the NSC as an analyst, making anti-Trump remarks to each other while attending a staff-wide meeting called by then National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, where they sat together in the South Auditorium of the Eisenhower Executive Office Building, part of the White House complex. The all-hands meeting, held about 2 weeks into the new administration, was attended by hundreds of NSC employees. They were popping off about how they were going to remove Trump from office, no joke, said one ex-colleague who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss sensitive matters. A military staffer detailed to NSC, who was seated directly in front of Voldemort and Misko during the meeting, confirmed hearing them talk about toppling Trump during their private conversation, which the source said lasted about 1 minute. The crowd was preparing to get up to leave the room at the time. After Flynn briefed the staff about what America First foreign policy means, Voldemort turned to Misko and commented, "We need to take him out," the staffer recalled. And Misko replied, "Yeah, we need to do everything we can to take out the president." That sounds very, very fake. I got to be honest. I don't trust this story at all. I got to be real. I do not trust this story. Added the military detailee who spoke on a condition of anonymity. By taking him out, they meant removing him from office by any means necessary. They were triggered by Trump and Flynn's vision of the world. This was the first all-hands staff meeting where they got to see Trump's national security team, and they were huffing and puffing through the briefing anytime Flynn said something they didn't like about America First. He said he also overheard Voldemort telling Misko, referring to Trump, "We can't let him enact this foreign policy." Alarmed by their conversation, the military staffer immediately reported what he heard to his superiors. It was so shocking that they were so blatant and outspoken about their opinion, he recalled. They weren't shouting it, but they didn't seem to feel the need to hide it. The co-workers didn't think much more about the incident. "We just thought they were wacky," the first source said. "Little did we know. Neither Voldemort nor Misko could be reached for comment." A CIA alumnus, Misko, had previously assisted Biden's top national security aide, Jake Sullivan. Former NSC staffer said Misko was Voldemort's closest and most trusted ally in the Trump White House. Eric and Sean were very tight and spent nearly 2 years together at the NSC, said a former supervisor who requested anonymity. Both of them were paranoid about Trump. They were thick as thieves, added the first NSC source. They sat next to each other and complained about Trump all the time. They were buddies. They weren't just colleagues. They were buddies outside the White House. So, look, I think we get the point. This is a really long story that basically says all the same things. There's a lot to go through here, and I'm already nearing 15 minutes. So I'm jumping down to the next segment on outside help, and I will link this in the description below. Actually, no, I can't link it. I'm sorry. If I link it, YouTube will delete the video. You can find the story by going to RealClearInvestigations.com. I'm not exaggerating. Okay, I'm being serious. If I link this, if I say this guy's name, YouTube will delete this video. So I'm doing the best I can to make sure you know what's going on. They say after providing the outlines of his complaint to Schiff staff, the CIA analyst was referred to whistleblower attorney Andrew Bakaj by a mutual friend, who is an attorney and expert in national security law. A former CIA officer, Bakaj had worked with Voldemort at the spy agency. They have even more in common. Like the 33-year-old Voldemort and the 37-year-old Bakaj is a Connecticut native who has spent time in Ukraine. He also contributed money to Biden's presidential campaign and once worked for former Senator Hillary Clinton. He's also briefed the intelligence panel Schiff chairs. Bakaj brought in another whistleblower lawyer, Mark Zaid, to help on the case. A Democratic donor and politically active anti-Trump advocate, Zaid was willing to help represent the CIA analyst on January 30th, 2017. Around the same time, former colleagues say they overheard Voldemort and Misko conspiring to take Trump out. Zaid tweeted that a coup had started and that impeachment will follow ultimately. I'm going to stop here and move on from this. The gist of the story you've heard, the most important part, is that other staffers, multiple staffers, according to RealClear investigations, overheard Voldemort, I can't say his name, the CIA analyst, and Sean Misko, who then went on to work for Schiff, overheard them talking about trying to remove Trump from office. But I do have to mention one more thing before we wrap this up. Schiff may have mischaracterized Parnas evidence, documents show. Now, I do want to stress, look, man, I'd love to believe what RealClear Investigations is saying, but some of those quotes seem so poorly concocted. Like, would someone really say that? I mean, I'll tell you what. Yeah, they might. They might really say that. It's possible. But it is almost too good to be true. I mean, if we had hard evidence, if this story is real, then we literally have evidence of a conspiracy to subvert the presidency, the executive branch of the United States, by CIA officials. That fits like so many conspiracy theories. I'll keep it family. Wildest dreams. So I definitely take it with a grain of salt, man. Look, they're using anonymous sources. I don't know who these people are. They're certified as credible, but still, you got to be very, very careful about this. So I think we should look at it. And I will tell you this. If the Republicans see this and they know, they absolutely need to subpoena, to dig, find out who these people are. They're not doing it. Okay, I know that they wanted to get Voldemort to testify. Well, you're in the Senate trial right now. Why not bring him out? You have the power to do so. I don't know. Don't ask me. No idea. But I will mention this one story in passing. It's not the biggest story in the world, but I think it does show that Schiff is playing games. The story is actually simple. Adam Schiff claimed that in a text message from Lev Parnas, Mr. Z referred to the president of Ukraine, Zelensky. In reality, later texts reveal it was Lachevsky. So I believe the fact is, and I could be wrong, but Schiff was absolutely incorrect in claiming Mr. Z in the text messages was talking about the president of Ukraine. He was talking about Burisma. And if that's the case, Politico is saying he may have mischaracterized it. Maybe it was just an accident. It's possible Mr. Z means something else, but it seems to me Adam Schiff, according to multiple stories, is not on the level. He's absolutely not on the level. I think most of you probably agree with me on this one. It's probably why you're watching this video in the first place. He's playing games. He's using manipulative language. He's doing whatever he can to try and get Trump impeached because he doesn't like the guy. We know they've been working on it since Trump got elected. They've tweeted about it. Keep in mind, outside of any potential conspiracy theory or conspiracy, Mark Zaid, the lawyer for the whistleblower, for the actual whistleblower, not like the one who is confirmed to be the whistleblower, tweeted the coup had started and impeachment would follow. We know they've been planning this. So when I see Adam Schiff doing these things, I assume the worst. He does not get the benefit of the doubt from me. Let me wrap this up. Assuming this story from RealClear Politics is legit, they have literally just said they have uncovered a conspiracy between CIA analysts to subvert the president of the United States. That sounds nuts. But who am I to say, right? They're certified as credible. And if they have multiple sources on the record, RCI, RealClear Politics is, I believe, the parent. They're a highly credible site. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. All I know is we got to be very, very careful, because if you end up latching onto this story and it turns out to be fake, it will absolutely destroy any opportunity you have to actually figure out what's going on. Take it all with a grain of salt. Be careful. But if you want to see the rest of the story, go to realclearinvestigations.com. Stick around. I got my next segment's coming up at 4 p.m. youtube.com/Timcast. It is a different channel, and I will see you all there.